wanted to come and talk to you about yesterday. So yesterday was my first day in office. For my PPE was my first day. It went pretty well. The morning was kind of rough though. I gave up my SUV to my husband so he could take the kids to school. So that kind of like threw me off a little bit because I had to stop and put gas in his car. And the facility is 45 minutes south of me because I live in northern Colorado. So the day started out pretty good. I got there I came in at 8:30, and I was supposed to be scheduled there from 9 to 2, but on my schedule it says that 8:30 is like the meet and greet, and show me around the facility and stuff. So I got there at 8:30, like the schedule said. The manager hadn't got there yet. That was fine. I was just there with the team lead and the other associates that work in the building. It was a nice size facility. I don't know how many beds it was. I didn't ask that question. I forgot to. But the HIM office, the medical records office, is where I was at. There was 4 employees and then the manager, and all of the employees were cross-trained. They had different titles, same jobs as most of you would probably be familiar with, just different names most likely. So we started out the day, we walked around the facility. I couldn't show you that because they were on high alert. When I got there, I went to the safety meeting with the manager, and the safety meeting is just all the heads of each department in the hospital. Usually the director or the manager comes if one isn't available. And anyway, there was a break-in in the hospital. A patient came through the emergency room, was seen there, was treated there, and I guess he was high on something. I'm not really sure what it was, and he broke into the x-ray. Was it the x-ray? Yeah, the x-ray room. He smashed the security gate, broke in there, and took some sensitive equipment. There was no information taken, but sensitive equipment. So that was kind of interesting to see how they handle security issues and boundaries within the hospital, because I've never been at the hospital when they've had something like that happen. I've been there for like rowdy patients, like behavioral health patients. I've actually been there when a patient has committed suicide. Sorry, I'm about to get off topic. I was working at a hospital in downtown Denver, and I guess the patient got a prognosis that they weren't, like probably cancer or something. So they went outside and committed suicide in the parking lot. No one knew that the patient was out there for quite a few days, and it was the middle of summer, so you can only imagine how bad it was when security found them or their family found them or whomever found them. I think it was security though. Where I worked at, you had to pay to park, even the employees. So security was always going around checking vehicles and stuff. So I think security found them. That is the second incident that's happened. There was another lady not too long ago, maybe a few months ago, and she I guess got a bad prognosis in the hospital. She discharged and then killed herself with a shotgun in the parking lot, and they found her quickly. Another patient was walking through the parking lot when they heard the gunshots, so they found her quickly. I don't know why people choose to do that in the on the hospital grounds, or just period. Anyway, besides the point, it's kind of gloomy. So we went around the hospital. They showed me all the areas where they pick up documentation, where they gather documentation, put everything together. Their process is a little bit different from the hospital I worked at. When I worked at my hospital, before this one I'm currently at, we used to do point of care scanning, and the HIM scanners would walk upstairs with their little cart and their little computer and a print scanning, like a little scanner, and a little gun, little handheld scanning gun, like a check tag gun. and they would scan the barcode that was on the medical records, and the medical records would be placed inside of the patient's chart, like right then and there. And they would do it every day, and they wouldn't bring hardly any records down unless it was like um, advanced directives, or other legal documents like lawyer papers requests or something like that, or it was proxy access request for adult to adult or adult to child, and I used to process those. Um, this one was a little bit different. They brought down all of the paperwork, or they would tube it through a tube system. I don't know if you guys ever been inside of a hospital, like really deep inside of a hospital, but there's like usually a tubing system in some areas, and they're in the hallways, and they're like little pods, little clear pods. You unbelt them, well, unhook them, stick whatever inside, and then you type in the number to whatever location the pod needs to go into. So they tube their paperwork, which is, I mean, it's fine, but you've always got that possibility of the tubing system going down and your paperwork getting stuck. So that's always something to consider. So after we did the walk around and gathered all the paperwork, I sat with the medical records analyst, which is really just, sorry, that was my husband. So it was just a chart analyst person, and she actually just goes through the charts, and I just make sure everything is complete. Like if you have an outpatient chart, make sure the H&P is there, the progress notes, any kind of consult notes, the discharge summary is there, and then each element is inside of the note. Same thing as a medical record. Well, I guess deficiency tracking, that's what I used to do. Same thing as a medical record. Same type of work, just different title. So I guess that's something to be aware of. Like when you guys go out into the field, like there will be a ton of jobs with the same type of names, like it's the same. Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. Same job, same type of situation, just different names and stuff. Sorry. Trying to figure this out a little bit better. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting seeing how other hospitals operate and how they do things. Now, their data records are centralized, which is nice because everybody can pull records from one hub. So that's kind of helpful because I've been struggling with centralized and decentralized records and hybrid records. So they have a centralized record system where anybody and everybody can pull records no matter where they are in the facility. So if they're down in Wheat Ridge, but the people in Platte Valley where I was at needed records, they could pull Platte Valley, like St. Lutheran's their hospital records, and give it to the patient. Or if they were at Good Sam and they needed records for St. Joe, they could pull their records. Now the hospital I was at before that was decentralized, and we could not. Even though we were part of the same system, I could not pull the big hospitals' records. I had to put in a request just like everybody else. Mine might have got there faster, and I would have to request the records just like everybody, regular people. So it's kind of, I think decentralized record right now, I mean, I guess it's okay, but I think it creates less of customer service towards the patient. Like, what are you supposed to tell them? Oh yeah, I can see your record. I can see you've put in this request, but I can't give you your record because you're at the wrong location. Like, no one wants to do that. And as a patient, I wouldn't want to hear that. I want my stuff right then and there. So that's one downside. So after I sat with everybody, and the last person I sat with was a physician liaison, which is basically physician, like they just started the suspension process for physicians. And when they got ready to suspend, she would send them off to another lady, and she would actually initiate, like, say, yes, you're going to be suspended, and change the little setting in Epic to actually suspend them. When I worked in my last hospital, that was my right as a physician, as a person working in physician suspension, I could do that if I wanted to. Once they got all their notice, because we were on a 2-week rolling schedule, once they got all their notice and they had reached their limit, that was it. I went ahead into Epic and I switched them to suspension status, and then their rights were taken. Like, revocation had started, it was done. You know what I mean? And you're already suspended. There, you can't do anything. You can't log into Epic. You can't do anything until you complete your paperwork. And the deficiencies, I mean, show up for everything. It shows up for orders, like medication orders. They don't sign, or they'll reject and say, "Oh, this isn't my order," but your name's on the order. You know what I mean? Like dumb stuff like that. So I still have a long way to go. I stayed there for 7 hours yesterday, and then I had a governance meeting. Not a governance, a hard code meeting this morning with my coding managers and stuff, and we were going over how to combat chronic kidney disease, how to code it correctly, especially with the new guidelines coming out, and how to interpret them. You know, you would think that the guidelines are pretty strict, but the new ones that are, well, this one for sure is really ambiguous. So I guess it's all in your interpretation, you know? But of course, your interpretation can be wrong depending on how you think and how you view things, of course, right? And Monday, I had a meeting with misfiles. So I had one with data integrity along with a data scientist. So that was pretty interesting. And I had really no true idea what data scientists do, but he actually built the program to filter through misfiles happening within the medical records, I guess the EHR, you know, and it's kind of cool. He actually built the system to filter the information for each hospital. So it was kind of cool, and you got a chance to see the numbers of how many misfiles are happening in each hospital and how much it totaled out to be. So it was pretty interesting to see that and be a part of that. So next week I have another, I don't think it's in-house, I think it's remote, virtual, and that is with the educator, I guess the system educator, and she's going to go over like what's expected of me, my project for my PPE, because yes, you will have a project for WGU, and probably most likely for your PPE, especially when you're on the management level. There'll probably be a project, which sucks, you know, but the sooner they give it to you, the sooner you can get it done. My PPE is supposed to end, I think I'll have to the end of March. So I kind of want to go ahead and get it done. I don't want to be like holding on to it and, you know, messing around. I plan on accelerating next term. I do not plan on doing 4 or 5 classes. I have total 5 classes left. Well, 7 classes left. 5 of those classes are actually like classes I still need, and then the other ones, the capstone. And the capstone paper I plan on writing once I get the topic, or once we nail down a topic. I don't think it'll be that hard. I've been hearing that the teacher requests that you make a minimum of 25, well, create a minimum of 25 pages, but no ma'am. So I guess we'll see what I come up with. I don't know. I think it's easier to talk to someone than it is to write a paper for me. So yeah, the longest paper I've written for WGU was probably 23 pages, and it was what class was that? C811, I think. You guys will know once you get to what, financial resource management, or healthcare financial management or resources. You guys will know what I'm talking about. It's a heavy loaded class, you know what I mean? Like it's not difficult, it's just redundant. So let me know what you guys think. I did capture a little bit of video from the facility, but it was just like the outside of the building and just me talking. So I just felt like I could do it this way. And I was gonna stream, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. So once I figure out how to do that, yeah, I'll go ahead and stream. You guys subscribe, like, and share my video if you can. Thank you.